I'm gonna be reviewing the Victrix Gambit Xbox controller. This is a licensed Xbox controller, which means it will work on Xbox. And this controller is a professional controller on the relatively lower price range, which is why it might appeal to some people. However, with a valid GameStop phone number, you can get this price down to $88. Now, let's start unboxing. Okay, when you first open it up, you get the controller and a Dolby activation setup. Here it is. You can take a look at that later. Then you also get a Victrix guide for the controller with all the information you might need for all the new buttons. And it shows all the customizable features: tournament control, face plates, changeable gauge, changeable D-pads, interchangeable analog sticks, aiming, concave, domed, whichever one you might like, interchangeable back paddles, braided USB cable, and a carrying case. You know, you're one of those really big pros. And yeah, it also has audio settings. So we will also go over that with the controller. When you open the box, you have the controller itself. This is the first faceplate. Has a nice, it looks nice, it's white. Right? This is the controller. You get multiple joysticks here. 2 standard joysticks. Then you get the, I forgot what these are called. These things. It's okay. Then you get the standard D-pad. And you have this cable, which allows you to connect to your Xbox. To connect it, you simply just insert this cable here. Obviously, you'll unwrap it. Then the other end, over here, goes into the USB-C port of the Xbox. Now we can take a look at the controller itself. It has 3 different modes of activation. First, it has regular. It's the regular controller triggers. Now you have another one. This one's much more responsive. Now you have instant hair triggers. Barely a click. Hair triggers, or mouse triggers, people like to call them. And now we can also change the face plates, the joysticks, all of that. So you can take this off, you can put this on. Hang on. Won't go on. Just pause it.
Stop.
Now you can replace it with this concave. And you also get this one, which many people put over here, and it sort of helps you to aim. Of course, first you have to remove this one. And this one. Put that in just like that. Now, many pros use this to aim. However, for some people, it might not be comfortable. And if you're wondering how, and many people, I don't think get this right, but when you're first putting in the D-pad, you can't put it in over here and then put this on. what you would have to do, take that off, put the faceplate on, and then with this little edge has to align with this edge. Then you basically have to put the D-pad on when you put the faceplate back. Now I can show you the second faceplate. Oh yeah, and also there's a concave, and there's also options of concave and domed joysticks. Many people like to use this faceplate. It looks very nice. It's plastic. So you can just slide that on like that. Now you can insert whichever D-pad you want. Now I'll show this one. Alright. And it looks just like this. And you can also insert back paddles to the controller, like this. However, the back paddles are very responsive. So when you're sort of just playing, what could happen is you could keep on pressing them easily, even while playing. Like, see, they keep getting pressed, even though I'm not touching that hard. So the back pedals, they aren't really for me. But if you do use them, they are good. They feel really nice. And yeah, I think that's about it. So now I'm gonna review the Victrix Gambit and also the Xbox controller. Starting off, the regular Xbox controller costs around $70. This controller, if you buy it at GameStop with a valid phone number, goes for $88. So for only about $20 extra, you get many more features, such as interchangeable joysticks, faceplate, very responsive hair triggers that you can also customize, and an interchangeable D-pad. So, and another really good thing I like to point out is that over time, around like the 2-month mark, I started getting responsiveness issues with this controller. Say, for example, when I started clicking the triggers, there'd be some type of noise. This caused a really big lag when I was trying to shoot, which could cause me to like die which would cause me to die really quickly. And also, in the middle of games, what would happen is you also have to replace these batteries pretty often, around every 2 weeks or so. And this is not a good thing, because once the battery starts getting low, you start lagging out in game. Not lagging out, sorry. It keeps on showing the screen like, please replace batteries. However, with this controller, you will not have that issue because the cable does not need battery to sustain itself. This controller doesn't need batteries. You just plug and play. So that means it won't run out of battery. They won't like stop you in the middle of a game or anything. And also while you're playing, and also I noticed while I'm playing with this one, the rubber grips don't really help that much because they're really slippery. So, and my hands sweat a lot when I play because just in general, you know, holding a controller and my hands start sweating. So and then, you know, they sort of start to slip really badly. However, on this one, there's multiple grip angles. You have over here you have sort of a different kind of plastic. It's smooth. This helps for really good grip, and there's always the option of changing it with this rubberized one. which also helps with grip. And this is also suitable for young players. If you're thinking that you don't want to buy this controller because it might be really hard to customize, like you might have to take out a bunch of screws just to replace the faceplate, that's not the case. It's really simple with magnets on the inside. So you can just sort of take it off. Yeah. This one's actually a bit hard to take off, so it's not going to. But when you do get it off, you can just replace it with this one instantly. It has magnets, and you can just sort of pull these sticks right off. It's suitable for 8+ ages. Customization is very simple. And yeah, last but not least, the triggers don't start creaking over time, which is the most important reason. So even if you could be playing you could have this for like probably a year, nothing will happen, because the instant triggers, nothing will like this will happen, because with these you have to press all the way down. With these you don't need to, so there won't be damage. So there won't be like a wearage over time as quick. It might take much longer. And that is what I have to say about the differences between this controller and the Victrix controller. Alright, so now we're going to be doing some gameplay review. I'm going to pick up my weapons. AR, the pump. There it is. Oh, seems leaving kind of the sweat here. These new triggers are very responsive and also help to replace walls really easily, because did you see that? You can sort of click before the player has time to make a move. Yeah, so you can click before the player has time to make a move. It really helps with wall replacing, all kinds of things like that. However, one downside is if you're using instant triggers for the first time, they could hurt your thumbs a little. Oh, yep, see that? I just got hit for a lot. I'm dead now. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing my review of the Victrix Gambit controller. This is the gameplay segment. So, these instant triggers allow me to replace walls really fast and easily. So, say there's an opponent holding your wall, they won't really be able to do much, because instantly you can pickaxe it. Here. Instantly you can pickaxe it, and then in a second you can just place your wall. However, it does take a little bit of time to get used to the instant controllers, because if you're transferring from a regular controller to the Victrix Gambit, then you might take time to get used to instant triggers, because these can be very different, as you can see, because the triggers on these, they're very wide, sort of, so they could hurt your fingers at first, but you just have to remember to sort of press lightly. And moving on to the joysticks, if you're using this really big one, sort of, that can also take some time to get used to. However, once you start in a match and you're aiming with it, it's really good. It's really good because the tall length helps with aiming, beaming, and also especially these. These are also hair triggers, sort of. So when you're trying to switch to the next weapon, let me grab a weapon. It's very quick and simple. So you're on your pickaxe, right? Now if you press this instant, very fast. And I also had the cut.